My name is Ankit Kumar Tripathi, and it's been 1 year. Like I'm working in Bangalore, Deloitte, as a full stack developer. But till now, I have only worked on the front end part. But for 1.5 month, I have been into Nest.js microservices. So I'm very new to it, and uh, the technologies I have used there are React, and for styling, I use Tailwind CSS and Node.js and JavaScript.
Okay, that's good.
Um, yeah.
So if I ask you to rate yourself in CSS and JavaScript and
In
React,
CSS, okay. In CSS, I would rate myself 6 out of 10,
okay,
or maybe 7. In JavaScript, I would rate myself 7,
okay,
and in React, I would rate myself 8.
okay, that's good. So this interview will divide mainly in three parts. First
Mm-hmm.
part will be like theoretical questions. I will ask some question, you will just explain. Then
Okay.
output-based questions. I will ask you some JavaScript questions. And then the last part will be machine coding round, where I will ask you to build something.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Each round will be 20 minutes. We'll try to keep it under 20 minutes, but it can go up to 30 minutes. Okay, so max 30 minutes. We'll try
Yep.
to finish one round. Okay,
I'm
so
not. Just a second. Just a second. I'm getting a
okay,
call.
okay,
Can you
sure.
just hold? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
no problem.
Yeah, I'm back. Thank you. Thank you for holding.
Okay, okay, so we'll start with HTML first.
Yep.
So in HTML, why do we use doc type?
To tell that it is a HTML document or still, or I think it was introduced in HTML5.
Okay.
Uh, Not sure about it, but yeah.
Hmm. Okay, that's not the perfect answer,
Yeah.
but uh, like it is
That
like it was before HTML5 also, but it
okay.
was written in a different way.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
no problem.
what's the use for it? I mean, I don't know it.
Okay, so basically it is used to tell the version of HTML. So before
Okay.
HTML5, there was HTML4. So in the HTML4, we used to write doc type and some other things to describe the version of document, HTML
Okay.
document. And in
Nice.
HTML5, we write only doc type, which means it is 5. That's it. We don't write version number.
Okay.
Okay. So why do we use semantic tags in HTML?
So semantic tags were introduced in HTML5, and they describe it. Semantic elements describe its meaning to both to the browser and to the developer. So let's suppose we are building a nav bar. So instead of using only div, we can use a nav element, which is a semantic element. So we can clearly understand that it is a nav, right?
Yeah.
And it enhances the readability and accessibility for the browser. So
Okay.
uh, we can make entire web page using div only, but if you use header nav aside, so it makes browser help and the developer to understand the code, and it
Okay.
helps SEO as well.
Yeah. That is also very important thing. SEO.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So can you tell me what are attributes in HTML?
So we give attributes to the HTML element. So we can uh, we can modify this like we can size, color, style. So these are the attributes. So we can enhance some more additional features to the elements, right?
Okay. Yes, yes, that's correct. Now, like we can connect CSS file to our HTML document, and like how many ways can you connect? Like write, let's say how
So
many
I have
ways you can write CSS.
first of all we can use the inline styles, and
Yes.
we can use the style tag in the HTML document, right? So
Yes.
we don't have to create another file. And the third one would be we can create a separate file, and we can then connect using a link tag, right?
Okay.
We can give the reference of that file,
Okay.
and we can use some external libraries such as Tailwind CSS or or any CSS framework, right? Just right, like Bootstrap.
Okay. Let's skip that because those are all external kind of thing. Like
Yeah, yeah,
those are externally connected.
yeah. That's what I
Okay.
said. Like
Uh,
these are the external
so
libraries or
mainly,
frameworks.
uh, apart from frameworks, like there are mainly three ways, right?
Yeah.
So out of these three ways, which one has more importance? Like, can you tell me the order of importance which will be applied?
So you are asking what is specificity, right? So inline style has the more uh, importance. So if we use inline style, it will take preference, and
Okay.
if we use the file separate file, then it will take the second preference.
Okay. And there are
These
three
two I
ways.
know.
Okay. So there were three ways, right? So which one will have
Uh,
least preference?
the second one would be the middle one, right? The first is inline style, then that style tag,
Okay.
and then third one would be the separate.
Okay. 1 second. Maybe there is some issue in my network. Let me check. Hello. Yes, there was some issue from my side in network. Can you hear me now?
No issues. Yes, yes, I can.
Okay. So basically you said the maximum priority is given to inline and
Inline
then
styles, yeah.
internal and then
Yeah,
external.
then the external file.
Okay.
Is it correct?
We'll see it later. It is not correct. Okay.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
first sentence is correct and then like, inline have the maximum priority. Then
Hmm.
like the other two, that statement is not correct.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So like can you explain me the difference between a div and a span?
So div is a block element. So if we give some content to the div, right, let's say a simple text, so it will take the entire that line, so entire block. And if we use span, that is an inline element, it will only take that space, right? It, it needs.
Yes.
It will not take the entire block.
Yeah. So basically that is also like the difference between inline and block, right?
Yep. Yep.
So can you give me other examples of inline elements
Inline elements. Uh, mm,
apart from span?
I don't remember. And
I will give you
you
one
can give
example. One example.
give me the can you give me the options?
Okay. Paragraph,
Yeah,
bold tag,
paragraph is not
bold
uh, uh,
tag.
bold. The bold tag is a inline element, I guess,
Okay. So
and the paragraph is not. Paragraph is not a inline element. It is a block element.
Hmm. Okay, so I I gave you one end. Like bold is correct. Bold is
Hmm,
inline element. Do you remember any
hmm,
other element?
no,
No,
I
no
don't
problem.
remember right now.
Okay, okay. So do you know, and like let me tell you, like there is anchor tag that is also inline.
Yes. y- Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Use it for links.
And image tag is also inline. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So no problem. Any other difference apart from like between inline and block apart from this that the
We
block takes
cannot
full
give
width?
the padding to the inline elements.
Padding we can give.
Uh, Sorry, height and width we cannot give it.
Okay. Yeah, that's correct. We
First, we
cannot give.
have to make them inline block or block. Then we can use width and height for inline
Okay.
elements.
Yes, that's true. But what will happen in case of image? Will height and width work?
Uh, if we make it as block,
Like every time you give height and width to image, do you give it display block or inline block?
no.
But it works, right?
Yeah.
Do you know why it works?
Uh, I don't know the reason, but it works.
Yeah, so basically there are two types of inline elements.
Okay.
There is one uh, replaced inline and non-replaced inline.
Oh, I
Replaced
didn't
inline
know that.
means, yeah, replaced inline means those elements which come through some external URL. For example, image comes through a source, right? So that is an
Mm-hmm.
example of replaced inline. And
Mm,
same is the case for this video and
mm.
iframe. All these are
Oh,
replaced, but height and width, margin, padding, everything will work. Okay,
okay. Yep,
it is it is
yep.
inline, but it doesn't work like inline. Only like it takes the width of its content. That's it.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's very subtle thing. Not everybody notices.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, so I have explained this in one of my video in box CSS box model video. I've explained
Yeah,
this. But
I would definitely check it out.
yeah, there are three videos. In the third video, I've explained this on box
Yep.
model.
Mm.
Okay, so yes, that's okay. Now let's come to CSS. Can you tell me full form of CSS?
Cascading styles sheet.
Okay, style sheet. Whenever we heard the term style sheet, you understand that the sheet where we'll write our styles, right?
Yeah.
So what does it mean by cascading, the first word? Can you explain that?
I don't know.
Okay. So that comes from the cascade rule in CSS. Do you know cascade rule?
No.
Okay. So that rule is so important that it is present in the name of CSS. Okay.
Okay.
So you must know that. So
Okay.
uh,
Let me write down all these things.
okay. Okay, you can write, you can note it down. Or if you want, like I'll add timestamp to this video so you can
Yep.
uh,
Yep.
you can get all the questions easily. Maybe you can write down timestamps. I'm not sure if I will write or not.
So I would write down the topics which I need to study.
Yeah, and all the topics, all the question, any question that I ask,
Mhm.
definitely I would have made a video on this. So I will not
Okay.
ask anything which I have not have made a video. So you just
Mm.
write that word and write my channel name. You will get that video.
Yeah.
Cascading in CSS, you will get that video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know is specificity in CSS?
Yes. The preference, like if there are two classes on the same element, and we are we are defining the same style for both. So it
Okay.
depends on the specific, and
Yeah, that
I
is
can't
that time
pronounce it.
importance, you can say. It is very
Yeah, well,
difficult.
importance. So which style will take over on each other. So that defines by that importance.
Okay.
So there are four values, I guess, in specificity. Uh,
Three
I don't
values.
remember.
There are three values.
Yeah, three values, right? So
Yes.
it defines the importance, which style will take over, which style will get affected on that elements if two styles are merging on conflicting.
Okay. Okay. That's partially correct. It is not 100% correct,
Mm,
right? But partially correct. You can be more precise on this. Okay.
yeah,
Uh, Now, can you tell me what is a default value of position property?
position. So the default property, I don't know. It must be relative.
No, it is not relative.
Okay. No, I don't have any idea about it.
Okay, do you know
Default.
what are okay? Do you know what are possible values of what are
Yeah.
all
So
possible values?
the possible values are relative, absolute, fixed, or sticky.
Okay,
And yeah, so I don't know the default value.
yeah. So basically, the default value you have not set in this one. Like
Okay,
you
that's
because
why.
we don't use that default value ever because but that is
Yeah,
by
that's why.
default. That is
That's
static.
why. Okay,
Static.
static.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is by default. It is static.
for all the elements, right?
Yeah,
Mm,
for all the elements.
yeah.
I'm not like all the elements. It is static unless we give something else. It is static by default.
Mm.
Okay. So what is difference between position absolute and position relative?
So, I will take an examples. Let's suppose I have a web page and I want to create a button to the bottom rights, right? So I will give position relative to the container, to the outside div, and will give position absolute to the that button. Then, so that button is relatively taking position to the entire web page, right? So then I can give values to the bottom zero, right zero, so that we can we can put that button to the bottom right. It will take reference to the outer div or outer
O-
element, whatever we use.
Okay. If we don't give position relative to the outer div, what
It
will
will
happen?
take the reference of the entire web page. So the entire screen, we can say.
Okay. So for like, do we should we use position absolute for a button? Is it a good thing?
It's, it is a not good thing. Let's suppose you have used Twitter, right? So there is a button, plus button, right? That button is absolutely positioned there. If we scroll the feed, that button is not moving.
Okay.
So that is an example of absolute position.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it
So
is an
it is a
example of
not.
fixed.
Uh, yeah, we can. I mean, this can be the example, but I have made a project there. There I have used the absolute positioning for that kind of button. If
Okay.
he scrolling the feed,
Yeah.
the button will not move. That will stay there.
Okay. 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 That's and then what is the use for relative position? Only for something, some absolute button or absolute element to be relative to that parent. Do we use for that only, or it can be used for something else?
So I didn't understand. Can you just repeat it?
Like, can you explain the use of relative positioning? Why do we use relative?
So we can, if we give relative position to some elements, then if in the children elements, we can take reference of that parent estimate, parent element, we can say.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't know what's the use of it.
Mm. Basically, we can also move relative elements.
Hmm.
Whenever we give position relative, we can give top, bottom, left, right, and we can move
And
it.
okay, Nice. Just right.
Yeah, so position is one of the important thing, and if you learn it properly, you will never fail making responsive layouts. So
Mm.
basically, we should avoid using positioning. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
should try to do using flex or
yeah.
margin.
Flags, great.
Yes. So in very specific situations we use positions.
Mm.
Okay, now let's move to JavaScript part. Can you tell me, is JavaScript single-threaded or multi-threaded?
It is single threaded. It has only one thread, and which is called main thread.
Okay. So
Uh, yeah.
when you say it is single-threaded, what do you mean by that?
So the thread is just a simply a process which runs our program, and it only can run one task at a time. It
Yes.
cannot run multiple tasks at a time.
Okay, then how does it handle asynchronous operations?
It
Like,
it handles asynchronous operations by event loop. Event loop has multiple threads, and it has something called micro task. So it
mm,
takes the task into the micro task, and whenever that uh, callback is completed, and it moves to the execution and to the execution context, so maybe,
call
and then it
stack?
runs. Yeah, call stack. So in
Okay.
call stack, the execution context is created.
mm, Okay. Okay, so in how many ways can we create variable in JavaScript?
So we can use var, we can use let, we can use const. Earlier we used to create variables with var. Now
Okay,
we only
so
use let and const.
yeah. Can you tell me difference between var and let?
So var is function scope, and the let and const is block scope.
Yeah.
And where gets hosted, and let and const also are hosted, but it seems like they are not being hosted because of something called TDZ,
Okay.
temporal dead zone, and but they lie on that scope, but before their declaration we cannot use it, so that part is TDZ for those variables.
Yes. Yeah,
Technically
that's
they are hosted.
okay. Okay, so what will happen if we try to access var declare variable before initialization?
So we will, before initialization, we will get undefined, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and for in case of let variables, let or
Uh,
const.
we will get an error, reference error, that we cannot use x variable before initialization.
Yes, that's true. Now, can you explain me what are promises in JavaScript?
So promises is just like a container for future value. Like, so let me take an example. Let's say we are calling something, some API, and we don't know that API will return something, or something relevant data or not, or it will return an error. So it just return a promise that yes, if it is resolved, I can run this code, or if it rejects, I can run this code. So we don't know it is the future value. So
Okay,
yeah,
so basically you told like how the
yes, it
promise
just
works.
it is yeah. So it is just an object.
Yeah, that is an object. Yes,
Mm.
that's true. From the perspective of JavaScript, it is object.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Now, like if we have one promise and if we have one set timeout, so
Hmm.
let's say if we start the set timeout first
Hmm.
and then like there is one promise below it, and if we resolve the promise immediately, so which one will run first? Like both will go to the queue, okay?
So I think
And
it depends on the order. So there are 3 to 4 tasks, micro tasks. Sorry, I mean queues are there in event loop. So it depends on the order of that queue. So if we
okay,
remember that queue order, so we can definitely answer that. But for now
Hmm.
I can't answer.
Okay. Okay.
I think yeah. So that I think the input IO queue, and there are 4 to 5 queues in event queue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me the difference between like whenever we use query selector to select multiple elements, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes we use get element by class name. So what is difference between the return value of both? Like,
Return value both what?
so let's say on your page, on your HTML file, you have four
Mm-hmm.
cards, like four divs on which the class is given card. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you do document.querySelector dot card. What it will return? It will return like array-like thing which will have all the card,
No,
right?
it will return the first element, first card. If you use get query select query selector, uh,
Uh,
just it will return the first element.
like query selector all, I'm saying.
So no,
If we
it will
use,
return a node list. It will return a node list array.
yeah,
Yeah,
it will
but
return a
we
node
cannot
list.
use array methods on it.
Okay, okay, which like can we use for each on that?
No.
Mm, for each we can use
First,
on that.
okay.
Map filter we cannot
We
use, I
can
think.
yeah, right.
Mm.
Correct.
Like
So
it
first
has
we have to
few methods of array. Like
yeah, first we have to convert it to the array, then we can use map and filter.
yes,
So for each I can we can use, right.
yeah. And
Mm.
if we use document dot um, get elements by class name, and we get give the class that card class, what that will return? Like query selector returns node list.
So it will also return the first card.
Get elements by class name. So it returns array like thing.
Okay, so it will select all the cards, right?
Yeah, it will select all the
Okay.
cards. So will it return array, node list, or something else? That is the question.
Uh, it will return a node. It will return an array of
No,
elements.
it will return an HTML collection, and it
Okay.
doesn't even have for each method. It is like it is similar to array, but it has even zero methods of array. And there is a difference, like there is another difference between node list and HTML collection. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And now let's move to React. Okay. Let me
Yeah.
ask some questions. Why do we need React? Why do you think?